Massa, mon plan mo chika kra.
Please go back. Please go back. Please.
Hello, go back, go back. All of you go back. Please go back. I don't want to push anyone. Go back. With all due respect, all of you go back. All of you go back. Go back. Go back. Hello, please go back.
Made up of one other officer, 96 working out, with the police ceremonial one in attendance, ready for inspection. Assistant Superintendent of Police, halfway adjourned because of the royal budget.
Guard Commander has invited the Royal Majesty to inspect the guard mounted to pay the appropriate courtesy. Broadcast live on GH Police TV, on DSTV channel 362, and we are also live on all terrestrial channels, live on Facebook, we are live on Instagram, and we are also live on X.
No, he will come again. He will come again.
His Royal Majesty is inspecting the all-female guard mounted pay the appropriate courtesy for his historic visit to the National Police Headquarters The guard commander is Assistant Superintendent of Police. She's ably supported inspection of the guard and now walking towards the days.
Your Royal Majesty, Fetching Ula, may I please handle permission to march over the guard? Yes, Your Royal Majesty.
The guard commander, Assistant Superintendent of Police Kafui Ajima, has sought permission from His Royal Majesty to march off the guard, and same has been granted. Please kindly take your seat. Thank you. That is the guard commander, Assistant Superintendent of Police Kafui Ajima, marching off the guard, signifying that the appropriate compliment has been paid to His Royal Majesty Otumfour Osei Tutu II, the Asantehene. Also supporting the guard this afternoon, Deputy Superintendent of Police Felix Osei Tutu, the band master is Chief Inspector Goksen Crime. Our drum major is Chief Inspector Daniel Adam. Indeed historic. That is an all-female guard of honor. All-female guard of honor. Otumfour Asantehene also. That is the difference I can speak. Your Royal Majesty, Otumfour Osei Tutu II, the President of the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, King Professor Otumfour Osei Tutu, representatives of the President of the Grand Traditional Council, members of the Police Council, retired Inspector General of Police, Deputy Interior Minister, Honorable Secretary Abi, the Chief Director at the Ministry of Interior, Mrs. Doreen Anand, Director of Operations at the Presidency, COP Mr. Kofi Boakye retired, the Technical Advisor to the Minister of Interior, Mrs. Mamiya Adedankwa, members of the Police Management Board, Nananom, Nime, Name, senior officers and men, the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with profound honor, humility, and great national pride that we welcome His Majesty, the Asantehene, and his entourage to the Ghana Police Headquarters today. Words alone cannot fully express the joy and privilege we feel in witnessing and hosting the great Asante Kingdom on this historic visit. This gesture is not only symbolic, it is unprecedented, a moment that will be engraved permanently in the institutional memory of the Ghana Police Service and indeed in the annals of our nation's security architecture. Your Majesty, ladies and gentlemen, today's gathering invites us to revisit history. Long before the advent of modern European-style policing, African societies, particularly the Asante Kingdom, had well-established systems of law, order, and justice. The Hifie policing system, administered through the Ashanti courts, was one of the earliest forms of organized policing in this land. These traditional mechanisms ensure social order, dispute resolution, and community safety through customs deeply understood and respected by the people. With the introduction of colonial policing, these indigenous systems were not erased, but rather blended into emerging state structures. The fusion of traditional authority with modern policing concepts helped shape the policing we know in Ghana today. Your Majesty, Nime, Name, ladies and gentlemen, as the revered occupant of the Golden Stool, you have not only preserved these values, but also modernized and strengthened them. Your concern enhanced policing efforts and community confidence. It is well noted that chiefs, as custodians of land, culture, and customs, remain indispensable partners in maintaining law and order. In this regard, Your Majesty, you have personally intervened in numerous land and chieftaincy disputes in the Ashanti region, restoring sanity, reducing violence, and making policing more effective.
Zoom.
The Inspector General of Police, Dr. Christian Tete Yohono,
Zoom.
the President of the Regional House of Chiefs of Greater Accra, my dear brother, senior officers and men and women of the Ghana Police Service here assembled, traditional rulers here assembled, distinguished guests, fellow citizens of our beloved Republic. Menchia has been pleased to enjoy a productive working relationship with the Ghana Police Service over the years. But this is the first time we have had the opportunity of visiting what I will call the engine room or the heartbeat of the service, thanks to the initiative. Thanks to the initiative and kind invitation of our son, the Inspector General of Police. We are deeply humbled by the extraordinary courtesies extended to us this morning. Watching the ladies parade, I thought I should have worn my police dress to be here. I'll plead of the IGP to give me a police dress so next time when I come, I can be a policeman. But this honor is not intended to me alone, but duly shared with the entire community of traditional rulers who are the guardians of culture. I'm pleased to be joined by NI President and other traditional council members. I hope they share this honor with all of us. It is truly inspiring to survey the amazing lineup of the top brass who not only make up the entire command of the Ghana Police Service, but represent over a century of dedicated and exceptional service to the nation. And whilst I was walking in, I saw former IGPs that I've dealt with, and I'm glad that they are here today. Interestingly, as far back as getting to 27 years, my first police ADC, I saw him now, husband rating, he's now Nana from Bonketia. He was my first ADC who was looking after me. 26 years ago. I don't know what rank he has now, but he was my ADC at Menchia at that time. This is not a routine or a mere ceremonial visit. It is intended to be a landmark event, marking a moment in history where two ancient responsibilities meet to begin a momentous conversation. The guardianship of values and the enforcement of law. One institution draws its authority from ancestral memory. The other draws its mandate from the Constitution. Yet both exist for one sacred task, the preservation of order, dignity, and peace in society. Before we proceed upon the historic journey, let me, in the spirit of the new year, convey a message of glad tidings to the gallant men and women who make up the Ghana Police Service. We come with abiding gratitude to each member of the service, from the lowest constable to the top leadership gathered here today, for your selfless sacrifices to keep us safe over the years. And we bring you hope for progress and prosperity in the years to come. The Ghana Police Service is one of the institutional legacies bequeathed to us by our former colonial rulers. From the first Ghanaian who took over the mantle of leadership from the departing colonial commander, the highly distinguished Erasmus Ransford Tewia Majite, to the energetic leadership assembled here today. The police service has gone through many challenging epochs. Changing political circumstances have impacted on the service in different ways. But it is fair to say that through it all, the service has maintained a level of commitment and professionalism we should be proud of. Whenever and wherever you have been called upon to undertake international duties, you have acquitted yourselves with full credit. The greatest pride of Ghanaians today is that our nation is recognized in the world as an oasis of peace in an environment of turbulence. The international community widely acclaims us for the safety in our streets. If we take pride in our climate of peace and accept the plaudits of the world for the safety in our streets, we cannot fail to acknowledge the crucial role of the frontline protectors of our peace and security. When we snuggle in our comfortable beds at night, we cannot forget that there are thousands of our sons and daughters battling with mosquitoes while dutifully protecting us from the snares of criminal minds. And while we trudge along our motorways, whether in our shining limousines or the humble trotro or aboboya and praja, we cannot forget that there are again thousands of our sons and daughters keeping guard in the most inhospitable spots just to make sure we arrive safely at our destinations. The truth is not in us if we fail to acknowledge that we owe a huge debt of gratitude to the blue uniform for the safety we cherish. So today we say Aiko to the police for faithful service to the nation. Aiko for your selfless sacrifices in the most difficult terrains. Aiko for the safety in our streets. And Aiko for selflessly standing guard while we sleep. As I have already mentioned, the Ghana Police Service is one of the legacies of our past colonial past. But long before the first police uniform was sewn, communities had learned how to live together. Before courts were built, disputes were settled. Before statutes were written, wrong was already understood. Custom was the first law. Culture was the first constitution. It taught restraint before punishment, responsibility before rights, and harmony before victory. It reminded people that their actions did not end with themselves, that every deed echoed through family, lineage, and memory. In those days, a child feared disappointing an elder more than facing authority. A man thought twice before wrongdoing, not because of arrest, but because shame will outlive him. Conduct was shaped long before crime could take root. That is the quiet power of culture. When culture is strong, crime struggles to breathe. When culture collapses, law enforcement is forced to compensate. No number of officers, no matter how disciplined, no matter how well equipped, can replace a society that has lost its moral compass. Law enforcement functions best where people already believe that order is worth protecting. This is why we have been pleased to join hands with Dr. Tayuno, the Inspector General of Police, to initiate this conversation. It has been most useful at this point in time to engage with an IGP steeped in history and culture and able to appreciate the essential interplay between the two. He is aware of the extent to which the colonial authorities relied on traditional authorities for the maintenance of law and order. Indeed, you know that the British were content to make domestic law and order a joint function between law enforcement and traditional rulers. When the Asante Nation became part of the new nation state of the Gold Coast, the Asantehene was allowed to keep and maintain his own police. Ahimfie police had all the authority of the colonial police well into the onset of independence. Along the original Gold Coast colony, one of the most eminent chiefs was Nene Azuma Tekole, the corner of Menyakrobo, who in his life played a key role in the preservation of law and order. It is no wonder that Kroboland gave us the first Ghanaian head of the police, the eminent Teria Majite, who was to go on to serve as leader of opposition in parliament. And it is no surprise that the seed of the past continues to flower in our incumbent RGP. The lessons of history suggest that we can build a safer, more peaceful society by conscious effort to bring the guardians of culture and the protectors of law ever closer together to create an interlocking mechanism based on the cardinal principle that culture cannot do without the police and the police cannot succeed without culture.
Jump.
Culture without law becomes nostalgia. Beautiful stories with no teeth. Law without culture becomes false, effective but brittle. One shapes the heart, the other restrains the hand. A society that restrains only the hand while neglecting the heart merely postpones disorder. As the king and embodiment of one of Africa's great enduring cultures, I've seen culture at its finest, and I have also seen it at its worst. I've opened up the deliberations of Asantehene and our traditional councils to the global media so the world can see how genuine customs resolves disputes peacefully, preserving relationships and dignity. I've also seen how distorted tradition may be used to justify violence and impunity.
Jump.
What we have seen and done reinforces my belief that when authority, traditional or otherwise, employs disorder as a tool, it has abandoned legitimacy. Custom was never designed to protect criminals. It was designed to prevent crime. Every culture in Ghana provides a formula for resolving disputes, and it is only when our fidelity to cultural values fail that disorder takes over.
Jump.
True tradition aligns with justice. It does not compete with it. This is why the role of the Ghana Police Service is indispensable. I recall that Christian only recently assumed the position of Inspector General of Police under a cloud at a time when public expectations of the police were high and patience was thin. Within this short period, the impact of leadership has been felt, and we see a style reflecting the essential element in law enforcement: calm authority anchored in professionalism.
Jump.
The greatest victory of law enforcement is prevention. And prevention begins long before police sirens sound.
Jump.
It begins in homes, and it begins in homes where discipline is taught, in communities where elders are respected, in cultures where wrongdoing is socially discouraged before it becomes legally punishable. This is where culture performs its most important work.
Jump.
In a society where values are strong, the police officer is not viewed as an adversary, but as a partner. The uniform commands respect not because it carries force, but because it represents shared principles.
Jump.
Now imagine a society where values have collapsed. In such a place, the police officer becomes a symbol of oppression. The law becomes an external imposition, and crime becomes defiance masquerading as freedom. The difference between the two societies is not the number of laws on the books, it is the presence or absence of culture.
Jump.
It should be obvious to us, therefore, that the alignment of cultural values with the values of law should be the first step towards crime prevention. Our visit today sets us up on a journey towards crystallizing the alignment of values and sends a powerful national message. The tradition and modern law enforcement are not rivals struggling for relevance. They are collaborators safeguarding the same future.
Jump.
When traditional authority respects legal authority, communities stabilize.
Jump.
When police respect local customs, cooperation deepens.
Jump.
When both communicate openly, crime loses its hiding place.
Jump.
If law alone can save society, then countries with the thickest law books will have no problems, no prisons at all. Yet even prisons have rules and still require values. The truth is simple, even if uncomfortable. No society can outsource morality entirely to the state and expect peace.
Jump.
Together, we must raise citizens, not just enforce laws. Therefore,
Jump.
I have come to join you to call together for deeper institutionalized collaboration between traditional authorities and the Ghana Police Service. Let chiefs serve as allies in community policing. Let officers be trained to understand the customs of the people they protect. Let dialogue precede deployment and mediation precede confrontation. This is not softness, it is intelligence. The
Jump.
future of public order lies not in louder sirens, but in stronger values, supported by competent, disciplined law enforcement.
Jump.
We hope the conversation we begin today will culminate in some institutional arrangement which should guarantee effective and respectful collaboration. You will no doubt be aware that among the guardians of traditions, we are fortunate to have eminent men like my own brother Togwe Sri, the Omefia of Alo, who before his entombment was one of the highest ranking police officers, and he even served in Ashanti. You can have every assurance about the presence of a vast community of guardians of culture, ready to connect with you for a new era in nation building.
Jump.
We have conveyed our message of hope and progress to the Ghana Police Service. We have assured you of our gratitude for your faithful service and selfless sacrifices for our protection and safety. But we cannot conclude without acknowledging persistent public disquiet about lapses that undermine discipline and engender mistrust.
Jump.
We have to admit, however, attractive the arguments may be, there's going to be more than a mountain to climb if we ignore public concerns about police values.
Jump.
I have always believed that the discipline and the values instilled during training by the police and military shapes one for a lifetime. No one who goes through the training is ever in doubt about what the uniform represents and the values they profess to uphold when they bear the coat of arms. So it is puzzling, to say the least, when Ghanaians see men in uniform act publicly in a manner which evidently compromises the integrity of the service.
Jump.
They provide an escape route to doubters who will argue that if the men of the disciplined service cannot maintain their values, how can they expect civil society to be able to do so?
Jump. Jump.
As we embark on this journey together, we will urge you, IGP, and your devoted colleagues to seriously tackle issues affecting police integrity and public trust.
Jump.
It may well be necessary to reinforce or upskill the values you include in your men, so they are left in no doubt. Whatever they do which compromises the integrity of the police also dishonor the uniform and the coat of arms they bear.
Jump.
I also hope that you work towards making the service politically neutral. There will always be one government responsible for the state of Ghana, and as the police service of the state, you are sworn to be unalloyed in your loyalty to the government. But there must be a line drawn between the government and a political party, and I believe both government and the service will find it in their common interest for the police to be manifestly pursuing law enforcement with bias towards none, but without fear or favor, affection or ill will.
Jump.
When I survey the galaxy of agile men and women assembled before me today, I'm filled with confidence that you are up to any challenge that the year may throw up. And I encourage you to stick together in continued dedication to the upliftment of the service.
Jump.
To you, Dr. Christian Tetenyoro, the IGP, I commend your leadership and encourage you to continue steering the service with firmness, fairness, and foresight. The work you have begun will outlive your tenure if anchored in values.
Jump.
Custodians of tradition, Nime, let us preserve our customs not as relics of nostalgia, but as living systems that cultivate discipline, peace, and justice.
Jump.
And to every citizen, remember that the destiny of this nation is shaped not only by laws passed in Parliament, but by conduct practiced in homes.
Jump.
When culture stands upright, crime bends low.
Jump.
When culture walks with law, society walks in peace.
Jump.
May the year 2026 bring all of us peace, charity, joy, and prosperity. Thank you very much.
Jump. Jump.
Thank you very much, His Royal Majesty Otumfour Osei Tutu II, for your address. Thank you very much. At this point, the next item on the group photograph. With the Inspector General of Police, members of the Police Management Board, retired IGPs and regional commanders, including our traditional leaders. Let me take it once again. Retired IGPs, members of the Police Management Board, our regional
Don't worry. Cheese!